Picture this. The journey ahead starts here together, and together we can build a brighter future. You are listening to Illuminating Hope, a podcast of Hope House. Marianne, it's great to sit down and talk to you to discuss the Missouri tax credit, because there's a special tax credit in Missouri that can be confusing. And if you're like me, I am not an accountant and I don't really understand how the tax laws work. So can you explain the difference between a tax deduction and a tax credit?
Probably not, because I too am not an accountant, nor can I give tax advice, but I can talk about our tax credit. The special credit in the state of Missouri is for domestic violence shelters as well as rape crisis centers. So what the state legislators have done is they have passed this. We've had a tax credit for many, many, many years, but in 2022, they passed where they took our credit from 50% to 70%. And they also took off the cap. So we only were allowed a certain number of credits prior that we could then offer to our donors. That cap has been removed. So we can give out credits as long as our donors are applying for them.
So who's eligible for these credits?
So you have to have some sort of Missouri tax liability. So you're a resident of Missouri, you work in Missouri, or somehow you have to pay state taxes to the state of Missouri. And then you have to make a donation of a minimum of $100 in the year that you're applying for. It doesn't have to all be at once, but it has to be a cumulative total of $100.
So any of our recurring donors who, let's say they give $25 a month, they can claim a tax credit through the state of Missouri if they're living in the state of Missouri.
Right. Any donor that wants to consider this, go to our website and we have information about the tax credit there. The application is on the website as well. And there's a question and answer on the back of the application that really gives information about who's eligible and how you're eligible. So the process really is once you've determined that you're eligible and that your donation has gone to an eligible program as well. So any program in the state of Missouri that wants to utilize these credits has to do some background things with the state in order to be able to then be qualified as a program that can give out the credits.
We have a large Hope House community and we have a great donor base, which includes businesses. Now, are businesses eligible to take the tax credit as well?
Yes, again, as long as you have tax liability in Missouri, and again, looking on the form to make sure that your business qualifies under the requirements of this. Generally, yes, I would say, unless there's something particular about a business that maybe would disqualify them. But yeah, so it's just a nice gift that we're able to give back to our donors. So if they're giving us $100 and then they can apply for a 70% tax credit, then really what happens is that you've just taken your gift and you can make it bigger, which is the nice thing. You can make it bigger and have it not really impact you because of the credit that you're going to be getting through the state.
What if I don't have enough deductions to itemize?
This isn't a deduction, it's a credit. So what happens is that you look at what your total is that you owe to the state of Missouri, and then this is applied against that. So again, we are not tax accountants or tax lawyers. We do not give tax advice. So I would really recommend that if people have questions that are not answered, like on the back of the application, that you can talk to your tax attorney, your tax accountant, whoever is helping you with your taxes. Talk to them to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do.
And how long do I have? Say I make a donation of $100. How long do I have to actually claim that tax credit on my Missouri state taxes?
You have to claim within 12 months of the donation. And again, those things are all covered on the application, but also I think we could put a link in with our podcast to the state of Missouri also has a link that kind of goes into who's eligible and how you process that kind of stuff.
What makes Hope House a qualified agency in the state of Missouri to offer these tax credits to our donors?
So this credit's available for agencies that work with domestic violence survivors. So we have gone through the things that we need to do to become an eligible agency. So we are in that category. So because we provide services to domestic violence survivors, we are able to offer this wonderful gift to our donors.
I just donated $100. What do I do next?
So you ask for us to send you the application, or you go to the website and you can print off the application. And there's certain things you have to fill out. You have to give the information, give the dates of your donation. And there's some things on the back of the application that can talk to you about that. But what happens then is that you send that back to us, because we have to then verify for the state that we received your donation. You can't just say, oh, I made this donation and send it in. The qualified agency has to verify that, and then I have to sign it to show that we have verified, and we're providing as well the proof that you made the donation to us. I sign the application, and then we send it into the state, and then we send a copy of all the documents back to our donors so they have that information. And then it takes a little bit for the state to process those, and also depending on when you do it, they come in more at certain times of the year. I would say you allow like 6 weeks for that to come back, and then the state will mail you as the donor the credit.
So it's really a simple process. I donate $100 or whatever I'm convicted to donate. I fill out the application, which the links will be on this podcast. It's through the state of Missouri and at hopehouse.net. So the application is just a one-pager. Is it pretty simple to fill out?
Name, address, you do have to put in your social security number, and then you have to put the date of your donations. So say you are giving monthly. So you would just write January through December of the year that you're giving. And so if you have multiple gifts that are coming in, then you can just state that, because then we're going to also then verify for the state when those donations came to us. So it is really fairly simple. I think the other thing that we need to make sure that we talk about is that if you receive a benefit for your donation, you do have to deduct the value of that benefit. So for example, if a business sponsors our gala, they buy a table at our gala for $2,500, then we have to then provide to the state how much that table was worth. And we have that all figured out prior to the gala. So then we subtract that from the donation, and then the leftover amount is the amount that you can apply the credit for.
And is this just through 2023? And is there a limit of how many tax credits that we as an agency can give?
No, the legislators took the cap off, so we can provide as many as our donors apply for. However, there is a limit for an individual or a business. The state caps what you can apply for, so it's $50,000 of credits. So you can't surpass that as a donor. But as an agency, we can give out as many as our donors apply for.
So if a business gives $50,000, they have $35,000 that they can use as a credit toward the Missouri state tax if their business resides in the state of Missouri.
If they qualify. So if they're a qualified business and if they didn't receive anything in return for that donation. If they just gave us a straight donation of $50,000, then again, generally speaking, yes, that would be the case. This is such a wonderful gift that we're able to give to our donors. We are so grateful for the donations that come to us, because we couldn't do what we do if we didn't have the support of our community. So for us to be able to provide something back to our donors is just a wonderful gift. I feel honored that we're able to do that. So for us, it's really important that people know about this credit, that people understand how they're eligible for it, and that it can be useful to them. That's what's important to us, is that we get the word out, that people understand how much they can get back just by giving to Hope House.
It's really win-win. Well, thank you so much, Marianne, for explaining everything. Like I said, I don't know much about the tax laws or anything like that, but I think this is vital information that we do need to get out to our listening audience.
I agree. I think that it's important. And again, we don't give out tax advice, but if you have questions and we're not able to answer those questions, then we'll try. We certainly will try. But if not, please talk to your tax advisor, your tax accountant, so that you, as a donor, are able to utilize these credits to your advantage.